Well, I can't believe it. We're definitely now into spring and the sun is beaming down yet again. I've had lots of requests to get updates about the maples and about the larches, the stuff you've seen in the last 6 weeks, because you want to see whether or not all those lovely leaves and needles have started coming out. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I walk out here every day and I love it. What a privilege to be able to have such a big and lovely garden full of over 700 trees, all reaching out to enjoy the wonderful spring weather we're having here in sunny Grantham. So if you want to join me for a short whistle-top tour of the Bonsai Retreat and see a lot of the projects that I've been featuring over the last 6 weeks, plus a few that you won't see until winter 2026, well, stick with me. Now, I'm sure everyone remembers the video where, a little bit of help from Yella, I put together this lovely Japanese larch forest. The majority of these trees are over 24 years old, and do you know what? The needles are out. This is the time when Japanese larch are absolutely at their best, and I love it. There's some work to do, and you'll see that later in the year, but hey, don't you just love it? And I know a few people talk to me about my sort of poor scale choice for my Japanese mudmen playing Go, and the reality is that was part and parcel of trying to stop the birds from removing the moss. It's been very successful. That's my top tip really for keeping the moss on there. Loads of rocks, loads of figures, in fact cover the moss all up and it'll stay there, trust me. Just here over my shoulder is the Cascade Japanese maple, and again I'm going to answer a comment about that. A lot of people mentioned that they didn't like the way the ceramic worked with this. Do you know what? I actually agree with you, and at the time when I looked at it I thought it was too heavy at the back here. And the colour as well actually fades into the colours of the tree, and it almost detracts from it. I understand that, and I thank people who are actually constructive with such comments, because I do need to find a proper Cascade pot for it. That will happen, but you probably won't see me doing anything about it, at least until 2026. So what else have we been working on? Well, I tell you what, keep your eyes scanned, because there'll be a few things you'll see that you'll go, I didn't see him do that this year. Well, guess what? I've got a whole row of winter specials lined up for 2026. That's when you're going to get to enjoy them. But if you have a sharp lookout, you'll see some little spoilers. So let's carry on with the montage, including, I know everyone wants to see that incredible creation I put together with a couple of Japanese maples and a Chinese elm on Andy of Bonsai Crazy. His pot, it's looking good now. Now this was a wonderful sort of collaboration. I can't stop thanking Andy of Bonsai Crazy for creating this incredible landscape pot for me. And the moss is still on there. Still got my little boatman. The flowers that have come out on this little planting, it just sets and really contrasts the Katsura leaves that are here. That's in nicely. I had to put a few more rocks because the birds did go a bit moss crazy. We had a few of those on the ground, but now I've got Mr. Cheetah there. The lovely small leaves have come out on this maple. It's a very delicate tree, and you know what? Now that I've got this on this side and the leaves on that side, it actually works even better. I'm over the moon. Something may have to happen here, I don't know what, but even now in its own right, I think it's wonderful. Now, I will address the monkey in the room. A few people did say they didn't like the Chinese elm as a planting down the front here, and I can't say one way or the other whether I agree or not yet. I need to wait for the buds to come out, and I notice the buds are actually starting to swell. I want this to move further across. I want it to almost form a canopy, to form a sort of lip across there, across the cave. I don't know if it'll work. It may be that I need to put another one on this side so that it gives balance and a little bit of sense to it. In fact, do you know the best thing about this is that if it really doesn't work, this is being trained as a full Cascade right now. I'll pull that out, put it into a Cascade pot, and then potentially I can find some natural growing material that can actually spread around there and perhaps look a bit more realistic. I don't know. Anyway, I love it. Let's have a little look at a few more things that are going on at the front end of the garden. Most you'll have seen, but some you won't. In fact, I've just started bringing out my my indoor stuff, only for the daytime with the sunlight. But tell you what, having the grow light on all through winter has made such a difference to my ficus. In fact, I'll show you them to now, because they're going to be pruned soon. And you notice behind, right at the back there, was that ficus forest I created, and there is the Tigerbark ficus on rock. You need to have a look at that. But as I say, they're going to be subject to a harsh defoliation when they come out properly in another 3 or 4 weeks' time. And for those of you who love Jade, well, these are now coming out as well. I find as soon as the temperatures rise above 5 degrees, they're pretty happy with that. So a few of those that have come out. And again, we've got local wildlife there. We've got the bumblebee in there having those incredible purple flowers. Mr. Bumblebee is very, very happy, and I'm happy he's there when he's not buzzing around me. In fact, just there we've got the Cascades. It's the Cotoneaster Cascade, looking very, very happy. This time of year I need to watch out for the wire. And looks like another one there. So, and that's looking full of joy. Could be that, maybe a pyracantha actually. And another video that you might not see until the winter of 2026. Had a bit of fun with a very, very challenging snakebark maple. And I managed to have a couple of spare trees which went into, that was originally a 3-tree Japanese larch grouping. I've added 2 more there, and I think that just really sets it off perfectly. Many of you will also remember that I created this lava rock on slate pot, and then added mixed bag of maples to it. Some are coming out in leaf and some already are, and again the 2 videos relating to that, I think they go back to the winter of 2023. Really interesting how I put together that lava rock, and that's literally the coals that they put in electric fires. And we've got the Fuji cherry there, you've seen that very, very recently. And again, I think this one featured as well, making a little juniper with an Erin pot. And in the background there, we've got our ash. Not a great deal of movement, there never seems to me, but right now if you get in close you can see that those leaves are starting to open up now. Many of you will notice, oh, is that a wisteria there in a pot by any chance? More of that next year. We've got elderberry. They're now starting to leaf out, so at least they're still alive. Oh, look at that. We've got this magnificent Japanese larch that's wired out from a video last year. Again, we all remember that recent 3 great things to do with Mame bonsai, including the tripod challenge. Leaves still haven't come out yet on that, but you know, we've got time. And then we've still got to do something with this monster 25-year-old larch. Potentially going to be a bit of a literati, I think. This ginkgo repot, again, I don't think you're going to see that until 2026. And again, for those of you who are sharp-eyed, behind it, you'll also notice that there happens to be a corkbark elm that has had a lot of leaf structure removed from it. More of that in a future video. Now the sun is right there beaming straight to my face, so I must look like I'm haloed probably. Is there a song about halo? I won't try singing that. The oak forest, again, this is another video. I got this pot at Doncaster, really sets the oaks off well. These are very, very old, and they're just starting to leaf out now, and that's why I always say the oaks are practically the last thing I do repots. Don't know when this is going to feature, but I've either literally just done the oak repots. I'd imagine it'll be the second week in April is probably when I'll do the oaks. I've got a few of them, so that'll be an interesting video if you haven't seen it. But this, it's a slow grower, Slow progress, but I love it. Absolutely fantastic. Remember wiring up that that Scots pine? That was I think that was one of the winter episodes this year. The thread graft, that's looking very, very green. I'm starting to realise it's a different leaf colour to the original tree. Oops. And you know what the best thing is this year I'm starting to see some real development in some of my longer term projects. This one here, this Japanese larch cloud project. The tree itself is probably 3.5–4 foot tall. The trunk's getting thicker, needs to get thicker, but what this has been all about is creating some really awesome pads that are in scale and proportional to the rest of the tree. And you know what? It is finally starting to happen. This is just incredible. I think that these pads down here are now 3 times the size of how they were probably 3 years ago, and looking absolutely gorgeous. Tell you what, if you want to come and see a beautiful cloud larch and you're anywhere near Grantham, you're always welcome to pop in. 5 minutes off the A1, and you'll probably even get a cup of coffee. Just drop me an email or put a comment, or put a request in the comments, and we'll see what we can sort out. Yeah, I'm not too boring to talk to, mostly. And just to cover the remaining bench by the piano window, I'm sure you remember me doing that repot on that Japanese larch. Oh, there's going to be something all about that in a future video, all about development, but that's thanks to Joe Garland. We've got the magnificent root on rock Chinese elm. Do need to do a bit of pruning on that very, very soon, otherwise it's just going to become an absolute unruly mess. My favourite, Eleagnus. There's going to be another video about the development of this evergreen, probably somewhere near May, June time. The olives, they're starting to wake up, and I'm sure most of you remember me doing that that wire bending that had been recommended by Peter Chan on my Japanese larch. That was another fun video. And I said there'd be some negatives. Well, the daisy bush, the impossible bonsai, well, I'll tell you what, it is not looking very, very happy at all. And I have to say, the other one has reacted exactly the same way. And I'm just wondering whether that's all about climate. And again, you'll have seen recently me create this Japanese maple forest, and as yet, I'm just waiting for the leaves to come out. They're just starting to open up now. Behind it, there's another Japanese larch, and spruce and cotoneaster, and this incredible Saskia azalea, but done as a semi-cascade. So lots at just the front end of the garden. In fact, it's not even the front end of the garden, it's the entry to my back garden. And I've got trident maples. Look at the leaves in that. In fact, I'm sure there's another thread graft in there. You can see all that lovely green growth, so that's wonderful. Then we've got another Scots pine there. So absolute, oh gosh, that's my shadow. I'm a big shadow. So just looking at the entry point of the Bonsai Retreat, there's a lot there. Now, I don't intend to take you through all 15 acres of the Bonsai Retreat, not quite that much, but you've literally just seen the entry area where you walk in down the side gate. I mean, well over 150 trees there. Some of them are really starting to move to that next step where I feel like they actually look like bonsai. And for the astute of you, yes, I'm on my knees to you right now, because that's why I want you to keep watching. Now, I've got loads more trees to show. Down here, the area to my left is where I've got my remaining stuff that I queue up for the next couple of weeks worth of work. I've got some issues with last year's airlays that we're going to do a video on. I've got some apples, including Zita's apple, my late wife. There's some oaks that I'm about to repot, and a load of other stuff. On the right here, I've got all of the repotted cuttings that I did in my my bonsai gold. What I intend to do is, rather than give you sort of a 3-hour rundown of how things are in the Bonsai Retreat, we've done that top area. What we'll do is we'll probably wait another 4 or 5 weeks, and then maybe we'll just work on this upper part of the garden and show you how things are looking, and then slowly move our way further back down the garden through the year. I think that's probably nice bite-sized chunks. And slowly, I'm actually in the shadows. This is a part of the area that I film. I literally wait another hour or two until the sun's just moved further over so we get better light. I've still got this European hornbeam that was a dig tree in, 2019, I think. It's been sitting in this great big pot, untouched really, but I need to start getting some wire on it and start deciding where to go with it. Obviously, you've seen my my Japanese maple, the Cobra. I've got to continue to do the dead work there, but this is looking very secure and happy. Mr. Bear's on his side. But again, the ramifications developing. I've already done a little bit of light pruning on it, the nubs and stubs. And again, another Chinese elm root on rock. I love it when they're like this. The leaves are just starting to come out, a bit like the Japanese larch. They're right at their best now before they start flushing out. About the same as the Japanese maple as well, thinking about it. But yeah, absolutely need to do work on that. Do you know what? We're going to, right on my workbench right now, are some very special trees. I'll just show you those before we go. Yeah, right beside me here is a couple of trees that have come from Tony of TonysBonsai's collection, Tony Higginson, God rest his soul. It's been, is it 2-3 years? I think it's 2 years since he died. And needless to say, his parents and his sister have been in contact over the last 6 months. Everything's fine, and they love the fact that people are still watching Tony's videos. So please make sure you go over to his channel and keep supporting him through that way in his memory. I've got a lot of work to do on his trees, and we're going to be having a spring special coming out probably a little bit later in the spring, so I can encapsulate all of the work I'm doing. But just for example, I've got this this very gnarly Scots pine, and I need to get the wire off it. And also this this field maple. I'm not being funny. This field maple is just getting better and better. And I know there's a lot of people who are a bit unsure of what I did with it, but I've made the right decision. I think Tony's going to be happy. Anyway, that's the tour for now. We've got lots more of the garden to see later on in the year. If you want to see more about probably Tony's trees or Tony's bonsai, if you're not aware of what I'm talking about, that's the video to watch. And apart from that, enjoy spring, enjoy your bonsai. God bless. Cheers.